It was a typical Tuesday morning in a Seoul language academy, the city just waking up as students hurried inside, clutching their books and coffee cups. Inside, a group of Korean university students sat quietly at their desks, bracing themselves for another formal English lesson. They were used to teachers with crisp American or British accents, who always focused on perfect grammar, flawless pronunciation, and strict rules. But today, something was different. Teacher Belle from Manila walked in, her warm smile instantly brightening the room and putting everyone at ease. Instead of launching into a grammar drill, she surprised them by asking, "So, what did you all have for breakfast today?" Her tone was friendly, almost like a friend starting a conversation. Her English was clear, gentle, and inviting, a sound they'd never heard before in their classes. It was easy to understand, and it made them want to listen. Minjun, usually shy, hesitantly answered, "I eat kimchi jjigae," his voice barely above a whisper. Belle beamed at him. "Wow, that sounds delicious. I love kimchi jjigae." Her enthusiasm was genuine, and the students exchanged surprised glances. The students were taken aback. This was nothing like their usual English class, where mistakes were corrected immediately and conversations felt stiff. Belle then shared a funny story about getting lost on the Seoul subway, laughing at her own mistakes and making everyone chuckle. The students leaned in, captivated by her storytelling and the way she made English feel approachable. For the first time, English felt alive, not just a set of rules to memorize. It became a way to share stories, laugh, and connect. The pressure to be perfect faded away, replaced by a genuine desire to communicate and understand each other. By the end of the hour, the classroom buzzed with energy and laughter. Students who rarely spoke were suddenly eager to participate. Even the quietest students found the courage to share their stories, their voices growing stronger with each sentence. Min Jun animatedly talked about his favorite K-pop group, his eyes lighting up as Belle listened with genuine interest and asked follow-up questions. Every student felt heard and valued, their confidence growing with each word. As they left the classroom, they weren't thinking about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. They were excited about having real conversations in English. For the first time, English felt like a bridge, not a barrier, connecting them to new ideas and new friends. They had discovered something new that day, a different way to learn, and a different way to connect. Sometimes, the right teacher can change everything, simply by making you feel comfortable and understood. And sometimes the right accent sounds just like a friend, opening doors to a world of conversation and possibility. For decades, the idea of real English meant sounding exactly like a British or American speaker. This belief was so deeply rooted that it shaped how English was taught and learned all over the world. Textbooks, TV shows, and movies set these accents as the gold standard, making them seem like the only correct way to speak English. Learners everywhere struggled to mimic these accents, believing that anything different was wrong or less valuable. This created anxiety and a strict hierarchy. Native speakers were placed at the top, while everyone else felt left behind or not good enough. But then, the internet changed everything, opening up new possibilities for learning and connecting. Suddenly, people could hear English spoken by teachers from India, Singapore, Nigeria, the Philippines, and many other countries. Clarity and understanding became more important than having a so-called perfect accent. Communication was what truly mattered. The old myth of a single, real English began to crumble as people realized there were many ways to speak and use the language. Online English education exploded, and Filipino teachers quickly became a global force, helping millions of learners worldwide. Learners discovered that Filipino teachers were patient, encouraging, and easy to understand, making lessons enjoyable and effective. The focus shifted from chasing perfection to achieving real, meaningful communication in everyday life. The world started to realize English is a global language, spoken in countless voices, each with its own unique value. And that's its true strength. English unites people, not by accent, but by understanding and connection. Filipino English is gaining recognition as a standard in its own right. Its clarity is a game changer, rhotic, melodic, and easy to follow. Filipino teachers, often multilingual, understand learners' struggles and speak at a measured, encouraging pace. This makes English accessible, especially for students in countries like South Korea. The Filipino approach is rooted in patience and positivity. Mistakes are celebrated as steps forward, not failures. With over 90 million English speakers, the Philippines is a global hub. The accent is now heard in business, education, and daily life worldwide. Filipino English is no longer non-native. It's professional, effective, and welcoming. It's the sound of global business and friendly instruction. And it's here to stay. Linguists are fascinated by the success of Filipino English. It's rooted in the American education system, so grammar and vocabulary are strong. Filipino teachers, as second-language learners themselves, empathize with students' challenges. They simplify language, use clear vocabulary, and support understanding with gestures. The Filipino accent is globally neutral, less intimidating, more accessible. This comfort speeds up learning. The Philippines has built a massive infrastructure for English teaching, making quality education affordable. Today, the country leads the world in online English tutoring. The secret? Empathy, clarity, and a genuine desire to help students succeed. That's what makes Filipino English a global powerhouse. And why it works so well. Language is about connection, not just words. Filipino English shines because it's high in emotional intelligence. Cultural values like pakikipagkapwa, deep empathy, shape every interaction. Praise is genuine, feedback is gentle, and mistakes are seen as learning opportunities. This warmth lowers students' anxiety and opens them up to learning. Filipino teachers are masters at building confidence, not just correcting errors. Students learn to communicate with heart, not just accuracy. In a divided world, this lesson in empathy is invaluable. The real goal of language is to build bridges. Filipino English does exactly that. Filipino English is deeply shaped by a culture that bridges East and West. Filipino teachers understand both Asian and Western mindsets, making them exceptional cultural translators. They explain not just words, but the context behind them. The spirit of bayanahan, communal unity, creates a supportive classroom. Students feel part of a team, not just a class. Hospitality and kindness are woven into every lesson. Learning English becomes an invitation into a global conversation. Filipino teachers don't just teach language, they welcome students into a community. That's what makes the experience so powerful and so memorable. South Korea and the Philippines share a unique and dynamic cultural exchange, one that continues to grow stronger every year. While K-pop sweeps the world and captures millions of hearts, a powerful Filipino tide of English teachers is quietly transforming Korean education and opening new doors for students. Over 100,000 Koreans now study English with Filipino teachers each year, whether online from their homes or by traveling to the Philippines for immersive learning experiences. What began as a practical, affordable option for learning English has now become the preferred and trusted choice for many Korean families. Korean students consistently praise Filipino teachers for their patience, encouragement, and genuine warmth, which make learning enjoyable and less intimidating. One student even shared, "My Filipino teacher is like an older sister who guides me and helps me grow. Now I'm not afraid to speak English in front of others, and I feel much more confident in my abilities." This connection goes both ways. Filipino teachers learn about Korean culture, traditions, and language, while Korean students experience the warmth and hospitality of the Filipino people. Friendships form, cultures blend, and understanding grows deeper with every lesson and shared experience. This ongoing exchange is creating a new generation of Koreans and Filipinos who truly appreciate, respect, and celebrate each other's cultures. All of this is built on the foundation of a shared language, mutual respect, and a desire to learn from one another. The tide is rising and it's changing lives for both nations. One lesson, one friendship, and one shared dream at a time. The real impact of Filipino English is seen in students' lives. Kim Dae-hyun, a Seoul manager, once froze in meetings despite knowing all the grammar. Online lessons with Ron from Cebu changed everything. Ron's relaxed style made English feel natural, not stressful. Dae-hyun's confidence soared. He now speaks up in international meetings. For him, English became a tool for connection, not just a subject. Choi Soo-min, a university student, feared public speaking. Her teacher Grace in Baguio offered gentle, one-on-one conversations. Soo-min found her voice and delivered a confident final presentation. Grace didn't just teach English, she taught self-belief. These stories are repeated thousands of times. Filipino teachers don't just teach grammar, they change lives, one conversation at a time, and that's the real lesson. Filipino English marks a new era for the language. The old idea of a single, correct accent is fading. Now, English is a chorus of voices, clear, confident, and diverse. The Filipino model, built on empathy and connection, is shaping the future. It empowers learners to keep their own identity while joining the global conversation. Other countries are following this example, making English richer and more inclusive. The story of Filipino English is about finding your own voice. It's about connection, not imitation. The teachers leading this revolution are showing the world that warmth and empathy are the heart of true communication. And that's the future of English.